Good afternoon. I'm Brian Reagan. This is
Tyler Kelly.
We welcome you to our midday meditation. Today we are in Isaiah chapter 5, verses 1 through 7. I can hold up 7. If we go higher than verse 10, though, I can't. Tyler can tell you in sign language, but you won't know because sign language people are the only people who know what their numbers are when they hold up their fingers. Everybody else sits there going, what's wrong with his hand?
Which is why you get angry with me when I do 3.
Yes. Because he's like, 3. I'm like, no. It's either 3
9
or 3.
6.
Yeah. Not 3. So read the passage.
Yes, sir.
Read the passage.
Now let me sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved regarding his vineyard. My well-beloved has a vineyard on a very fruitful hill. He dug it up and cleared out its stones and planted it with the choicest vine. He built a tower in its midst and also made a winepress in it. So he expected it to bring forth good grapes, but it brought forth wild grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge please between me and my vineyard. What more could have been done to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Why then, when I expected to bring forth good grapes, did it bring forth wild grapes? And now please let me tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away its hedge, and it shall be burned, and break down its wall, and it shall be trampled down. I will lay it waste, it shall not be pruned or dug. But there shall come up briars and thorns, and I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain on it. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of the Lord, and the men of Judah are his pleasant plant. He looked for justice, but behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold a cry for help.
All right. This imagery in Isaiah chapter 5, Jesus has a variety of parables about vineyards. I promise you, when he was speaking those, the Jews who were hearing him, they understood the references he was making back here to Isaiah 5. Jesus' discourse in John 15, I'm the vine, you're the branches, my Father is the husbandman. Again, imagery here. The Apostle Paul, when he's talking about the olive tree and grafting in and grafting out and God, no, all that imagery comes all the way back to here. And God's case here, and I want you to pay attention to this. God says, what more could I have done for my vineyard than what I've done? And the answer is nothing. When you go back and you read, and most people have never read from Exodus 19 through the end of Deuteronomy. No, just read Exodus 19 to the end of Leviticus, skip Numbers, and then start with Deuteronomy. The law portion of the law is Exodus 19 through the end of Exodus, Leviticus, and the book of Deuteronomy. The number of Christians that I've had to listen to over my life that make judgments and statements about the law was so, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you did read the whole section about blessings that went along with the cursings and all that, right?
I would assume that they've actually read it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know who's watching, but I'm going to ask you this. Before you ever talk about the Old Testament law again, actually read it. And read it with the understanding of if you had to set up a society from ground zero with a group of people who had all been slaves and had never ever been an independent people living on their own as a nation, that none of them had any history of being anything other than slaves in a different land with a different language. Now, you, in 40 days, write a law that covers moral, ethical, nutritional, health and sanitation, spiritual, financial, familial, and every other aspect of practical criminal code. In 40 days, come up with it. And at the same time come up with a system of blessings for the doing of it. Now, why are you chuckling, Tyler?
Good luck.
Yeah.
Unless your name's God.
Unless your name's God and you've got Moses, scribbling going.
Next.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm going the wrong way. Sorry.
Yeah, I noticed that. At least I was writing, right and left. In, Western and Oriental. Right? That's my point. So when God asked the question, what more could I have done? The answer really is nothing. You gave them every promise that they'd ever need. You gave them every blessing they could have ever wanted. You equipped them with every opportunity if they would have just exercised a little bit of faith consistently. And they spit on all of it. And they rejected all of it. And they hated him for being good to them. Mm-hmm. So when you read some of this stuff like in Isaiah, keep that in mind. You're judging it from having grown up, most of you who are listening to this, you're judging it from having grown up in America. If tomorrow you had to move back to, say, Ireland, but you were supposed to displace everyone in Ireland to take the country back and found a new land, or Germany, or. Be very shocking. I love when people are, oh, I went to Ireland. No, you didn't. No, you went to some touristy places in Ireland. If you would have stayed there for 3 or 4 years and had to eat what they eat, live with what they live with, you know what you'd find out? Now you've been to Ireland or England or. I don't know about you, man. I've watched enough British television. Now, I love my British TV shows. I do. And I am so glad every time I get done watching British TV, I'm like, thank you, Lord Jesus, that my people were some of the people that came over on boats. Because, England. English TV? Yay! England? Bah. And that's the attitude his people had toward him. Bah. God was like, I've hooked you up with everything. Mm-hmm. So, anything you want to add?
No, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
All right, then. Close us out.
Like, comment, and subscribe, and share with all of your friends, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, or both. We're totally fans of doing it on both. It works out well.
Click the subscribe button underneath. You have to do that, Tyler. It doesn't count if you don't take your finger
on YouTube. Go down over
point
there
at the imaginary button that we can't see in our studio.
Yes. Now on Facebook, I don't know where. On the left you got the like in the comment part, but that doesn't actually like the page, so you don't actually get to see all of our stuff again. You actually have to go do that somewhere else by actually clicking on our page.
So please do that though, so that it will make the matrix
push us more.
It will make the matrix masters of the internet who are invisible. It will make them happy, and it will increase video views. Brian Reagan, this is
Tyler Kelly.
We'll see you tonight.